Hello, holes and poles. Get hard, get steady, get your butts ready for me, Lilo. I'm gonna go paint outside. My sinuses are really bad. Hurts. Hurts. But I did something I normally don't do. I was looking for this. It's my. Tell you what. Oh, yeah. Get a little glitter. Ah. Ah. um, corporate docility by being groomed into the NADSATs, the children's. Your daily magic today is to learn your patterns and how you can't break free from them. I'm sorry. So, oh, my mom's so good. So basically, so basically, grooming is when someone is pushed into a role and somebody put them into that role. My generation is a generation that was between the two types of so-called people, and everyone was extremely free, liberal, say what you say. Why is it the minute I start a video, my family walks back here? So, racism was taken into. Racist people do racist things. They don't say racist things. And everyone joked. If you go back and look at like Howard Stern and all that stuff, they're all saying the N-word and making racist jokes. But they weren't racist because they didn't do racist things. And that was how they were doing their comedy. And no one went back and said, what we did was racist. They did homophobic jokes. They did all these things, and if you didn't laugh at the joke, you were considered to be weak or whatnot. And now it's not like that. And this isn't about the PC culture. This is something different. This conversation. So the the way that people were pointed to, you didn't laugh at the joke, you didn't get it. It's not racist or whatever. It's almost like people worked hard at these jokes, and you're supposed to laugh. And if you didn't get the joke, you you weren't lighthearted enough. You had to let it go. You had to let go of the racism, the beliefs of the past, and just learn how to live, um, see the stereotypes of your own life, and not be so sensitive. And that's when PC culture is all like, hey, please stop, I'm sensitive. And then the people who are trying to be extreme and doing those jokes um, became sensitive. And the sensitivity comes to, I now cannot make jokes. Why does everyone have to be so blah, blah, blah? And let me take a drink and we're going to move on from that. So we then find out that these people who, Republican and or Democrat or whatever, just had all these views of don't cry, don't do this is womanly, this is manly. All of these people raised children and a generation to believe that they had to be strong and follow all these guidelines. And then eventually that changed to, what are you doing? Why are you counting change? Why? He lost what? You shouldn't even be doing money. We're closed. Anyways, You're just making a bunch of noise over here. You're supposed to take money from people, not give them money. See, that's the older generation where the bottom group of people who've never had money don't know how to keep money. These goofballs. And they raise people to try to be strong, but they themselves didn't know it was strong. They thought watching people be shot, extremely violent movies, horror movies, freedom of speech, all that stuff, hearing it would make people more stronger, but it doesn't, because the people that were making these TV shows where people were living their real lives and they weren't putting a message out there. They themselves didn't know the message. And, brutality, killing, violence is reemerging again. And it is mindless, which to say is don't do things for not a reason. But the mindlessness comes in. People try to have a message and they start falling prey to the mindless people. People who do things constantly for no reason. They give in for no reason. And that's when we come to our modern world with all these people. Before, everyone just died. They're just these fucking old people with views, and they just died. And now people are living they already lived to 100. They're living even further. And these people who generally would have lived to like their 50s and then like retired can't retire anymore. They're still working. There's people that are living past their prime and still are taking up a lot of space in this A of U, America of the Uniteds. And they feel like their opinion is valid and it is just outdated. They've lived their lives and they feel like the precious snowflakes of the modern era won't be able to take on the holds and yada 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 yada, but they never had a message with what they did. They they bought low and sold high and all of that shit. Not asking the ant in the field what was good for them, the bird in the sky, whether it minded flying through, fucking smoke. They never asked them things, and they never thought of that message till now. We're kind of in a big shithole of we're gonna have to clean up the environment, which is fucking lame. How hard is that? Just the world constantly wastes fashion, products, new phones, and people don't see that they say they're changing the world, that they're doing things, but they want the new phones, they want the new things and this and that. Every Christmas they buy kids shit. Streamers, lights, just fucking garbage. And it all goes back to one thing, that currently people need releases. People need a catharsis. And what's going on in modern music is rap, gangster rap, and this generation that is raised around being gangster. The fundamentals of things they see in movies. They become so alienated from what real life is that they themselves has learned how to act like gangsters, how to act like they're in the hood when they aren't people who lived in the hood, who have not lived a day having brown skin, dark skin, lived in the areas around those people, and then they profit off of that. They make videos. They mock culture and tokenize it when the people themselves who are of those race and or religions or views or yada yada yada, those people don't want to tokenize themselves. They want to create. They want to create things with a message, and they aren't looked at because people want tokenized versions. It's racism that's been corporatized into them, and they want they want all of the harshness without the edges. They don't want a person with a criminal record, but they want a person to seem criminal. They want the ability to know that that person is docile, and that's not how it works. We live in a society where the music and art is created out of stress and compression because people are distraught from the situations that they live in. And I'm not saying everyone gets a fucking pass because of what situation they live in and what they have to do to get out of it, but there are situations where they're just picked on and hurt and pushed down, and all they want to do is music. And meanwhile, there's somebody in a group that's been put together by Disney, and the people who watch these movies, who see these tokenized people, the brown faces, the black faces, the white knight character who always saves the POC. Yippee, you saved the day. From childhood, the things that a normal person who despises this fake world, the generation of mine that was shown death and murder and told, fucking get used to it. This is what happens. In pros to the younger generation that was hidden all this stuff, that like a Black Mirror episode, the blurry's over, which everything's like a Black Mirror episode, but people who are just censored to that in their childhood, where everyone else is like, this is how you kill a fucking chicken. Like, don't be a pussy and watch it. And it's just like, oh, do you have to say that word? Now I gotta watch a chicken and be like called out on my whatever it is personage. Meanwhile, whatever gender choices I have hurts the person who says that, so who's a snowflake. But as a child growing up, being forced into the gradiness of the earth and the people and how they exist, with the new generation just being force fed Disney and PayPal, not PayPal's, Pup Patrols and Doras, and just their whole entire life revolves around this softness. And eventually they seek out the murder and death, the reality of the world, and they don't understand it. And they think it's just a trendy new thing. The gangsterness. This new generation will try to create sounds, and it'll slowly what my generation sees as fake, they won't see as fake. They'll see it as original because they've never seen it. Every year there's, I don't even, not even every year, like every couple months there's a new rapper, there's a new bad guy, there's a new person. And I can't I can't even, all of these new rappers coming out, they all keep doing stuff, and then they release another album, and I can't listen to their music anymore. And it's not that like I despise rap. I've loved it as a child, since I was a child. I can still listen to that rap, but this new shit, you can't. You can't, because it's based off of corporatization, domestication, Docility, homogenization, and it's completely homogenized. All the beats are, boom, boom, boom. It's like they all try to one up each other or try to be more badass, and it's slightly dangerous because you shouldn't have to one up each other, you shouldn't have to beef. They're buying gold chains and yachts. And a lot of people that do aggressive music can't do it anymore because they can't write aggressive songs about their pools not being clean and their gold chains not be put in order, whatever it is, because they were upset that they weren't famous, and that's when the things with feelings and emotions start decaying, and pop music is there to take care of it, and pop music has slowly become, if I'm in a bad mood, I put on good mood music, and before, when I was younger, there wasn't as many shootings, there wasn't as many people who subscribed to those same things that the people do that supposedly make them happy, when there needs to be a cathartic release. And the cathartic releases aren't going to be there because people don't have that ability to release anger and aggression. They're so afraid. People say things more hurtful than they can yell them, and that's something that people need to understand, that the volume of a voice does not equal the hurtfulness that comes from the words that people say. So someone screaming is loud, but the hateful things that were spoken in the 70s and 80s as jokes still echo today. The weird skits with Howard Stern and Whoopi Goldberg and them saying the N-word. It's just weird to me. There's a lot of anger in the world, and no one knows how to challenge it and channel it because they've been taught to put on Dora. They've been taught to put on X-Men, to lose themselves in purchasing things. If all that stuff was gone, what would you fucking do? Every minute of everyone's life is listening to the past, the good times, to putting on the favorite movie, eating your favorite food. My crappy generation didn't have those things, and even my parents' generation didn't have that ability. And over the not the process, but over the span of me to my daughter, and technology has just jumped. And like along with a lot of people, have acclimated myself to this jump, needing the constant stream of media, information, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with wanting hours and hours of videos. I want that to be filled in because I'm a high rate input person. I need people to talk, and I need to hear things and know things. I also am able to communicate everything thoroughly and hiccups out. Eventually, society will get to that point too, where the binging of TV shows won't be enough, and people will be angry. And this will be the only problem with our existence is that people will share their opinions, and instead of Facebook posts, it's like, hey, look at my YouTube, look at my video, who's got the most views, who's been doing it the longest, who's got the most fans, who does the most shocking YouTube things, the live streams, the views. And the only problem will be that there isn't enough media, that a person doesn't have enough followers, the the message that they're trying to say isn't getting out there. We've hit a singularity of aggression. And all we're doing is waiting to download ourselves into the consciousness of the uploaded files of our live streams. I saw a video of Robert Plant talking about meeting Elvis, and they took a bunch of different videos of him talking about the meeting, and they slowly piled them on top of each other as if there was no time between them. And even little parts where Robert excluded different conversations, they would fill them in. Over time, this is how it will be. And it worries me and worried me that a four-dimensional person of myself is being created, to when I look down and I'm silent, when I'm angry, and instead of a person that at that moment is reserved or angry, extra or less, instead there'll be a version of me created that is everything all at once. That I can't hide myself or reserve my feelings or my thoughts at that time. And it's not to say that the viewer chooses who I am, but it is to say that the editor chooses who I am. The influences of what I am and what I'm trying to communicate are all that is able to be put out there. And the more people see, the more you communicate, the more you lie or that you don't lie, it won't matter in the long run, because there will be so much streaming media of people that you can slowly fill in the blanks. The things that made people mysterious and entertaining in the past are the things that no longer make them interesting. And people have to move past that. Nicki Minaj put up a video or put up a photo on her IG of her dating a person who is a sex offender. Shut off the comments. That is turning the world of celebrityism into the world of they don't care anymore. That is one step towards being so close and distant from people. You can't treat the world like it doesn't exist and then not expect it to want more from you. The world of celebrities have been to block themselves off to get more of that celebrityism, and It's been years upon years of them doing this. The things that make them famous are the things that they covet, and people are going to stop caring about that. People used to kill celebrities because they wanted more, they wanted to find out, and that's why celebrities hid. People idolize and stalk them. So they moved to LA, they moved to distant islands, and now it doesn't matter. Everyone has enough hold on them. They're trusted, and people have chilled on those feelings and vibes because they get enough information. But this one instance of anger, of hatred, of opinion on something that ain't my opinion. I don't give a fuck about it. And to put it that, oh, and Nikki does things with child molesters, convicted, which is sexual, I forgot the word, I'm just going to say predators, sexual, people who have committed sexual crimes. Yes, they have, but some of them aren't the same. A person trying to rape a person with a knife, and someone like Takashi, who everyone says is a child molester, is a person who was in a video while other people were having sexual interactions with a minor. Gross as it is, the video doesn't show Takashi doing anything with a minor. Ugh. But again, ew, wash my hands with that. People don't know the full stories, and they overact. The same thing with Kat Von D is they're labeled a Nazi by some people when they don't know the story, which is they wrote a letter to Ami James saying, "Burn in hell, you Jew," I believe. People still say anti-Semitic things jokingly. I don't fucking know. I don't do shit like that. I'm not excusing what they did. It's like fucked up, but I mean, people get pissed. A fucking Nazi. Meanwhile, there's other Nazis out there. I don't know what to tell y'all. Like, you attack the people who, like Phil Anselmo, I can't say his name, I'm too plugged up, did a Nazi salute at a concert because someone was saying, I think, racist shit to him, or I don't remember, but he's like, fuck you, and he did a salute jokingly, which was fucked up. He apologized I believe he apologized for doing the Nazi salute, but sometimes when you piss people off and you say things, they do the things in order to be like, okay, you're saying I'm this, now what? You can't do shit because I'm not. I'm gonna go back to my life. Because there's just a thing where people get upset. They live a life and well, I really went off track of where I was going. They've lived a life and they it's through the view of these groomed people who live these Disney lives where they constantly attack people. They put them to the highest regards because they want to destroy their heroes and their idols. Like if Walt Disney was here, I'd probably mock him every other day for being a Nazi and hating the Jews. Basically hating anyone who wasn't a white Disney princess and something about fetishizing POC. I mean, it's there, but damn his frozen head. with these people have always had things and issues, and they try to live their lives. And there's just a younger generation who has lived a very sheltered and safe Disney world. Their anger is only at things on the top level, the Flotsam and Jetsam, the Kat Von D's, the Phils, the Takashis. Of course, they're going to be mad at these things, and they can write people off because it's aesthetic, it's veneer, it's just on the top. It hurts nobody. It doesn't, whatever they do doesn't affect anything. And their anger is off bias because these are celebrities. These are issues that in no way involve anyone's life. Even someone like the guitarist from Cannibal Corpse that recently allegedly started his house on fire and then broke into someone's house to rob them and then rushed a cop with a knife. For years, Cannibal Corpse has written music about raping, kidding, pedophilia, you know, music that's just scary and horrible because it's metal. Like, why would you want to write about kittens, which you can, baby metal? Uh, but for years, they were asked if they did these horrible things, and they're like, we no way condone them, people doing those things. And you're held to a degree where people keep saying, do you do this? Do you do this? And there's a chance that someone in your band snaps and maybe does something similar. And then it's just like, maybe he couldn't deal with the fact of this pressure constantly and he just snapped. And it's like, does that mean the band is 86 because of that? It's like, it's a confusion. And for people who have been watching for so many years, there's a chance for them to say, that's right, all this time, what was it, 30 years or 38 years, this is what it's been leading up to, and now we can say, don't listen to Cannibal Corpse. And it's bullshit because they've been making music and making people happy, and it gets a bad rap. And then the one time someone does something bad doesn't mean the music's bad. Unless it's like really shitty music, like Death in June. Like, let's make Nazi-esque music and use fascist, and it's not even fascist, it's just fucking Nazi paraphernalia fucking shit. And then the people who like it, like, the music's garbage. It's just really bad if you really fucking listen to it. It's like Gucci Gang, but like goth style. And people want to fucking like it to say they're edgy, or, it's like, oh, I like them, and oh, you can't stop me, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, but it's still shitty music. It's like the opposite of Barney. It's like, oh, you're so edgy because you like fucking Charles Manson. Like, cool, but he sucked. The people who are upset, whatever these people are, they just want something to be upset because they've been groomed to think that the bad guy in the Disney show is the bad guy, but that's not how it works. Everyone's been groomed into thinking the bad people do bad things, but these are just artists. The bad people are the corporations, the people pushing you to buy more things. The world is being destroyed because people are always thinking about themselves. Look at your Facebook post, look at the number of likes and views and what you're saying, and then look at the people who are doing really good. They keep their mouth shut, they ask for things, they're fake, they get in fights with people, and then they don't help anyone. And we applaud them. They're like, I want to be like them. They're always great and on top of things because they're fake as shit. And over the years, it gets boring. Meanwhile, like, all the people that you cared about and liked, you've alienated to be around these people because you wanted a job, because you wanted a place. if you wanted to be part of society, when the real people who care, and the ones who snap at any chance they get to point a finger at something that's been trying forever to make it, because these people have lived cookie cutter lives where one thing is good and one thing is bad. So it's cool if you've sat in front of the TV or how alive watching Winnie the Pooh and Dora, Spider-Man, thinking that good guys are good guys and Captain America's gonna save the fucking day. That's great. And if your anger is only at the fact of who directs the new fucking Avengers, that's really sad. Because there ain't no superheroes. There's just voices, and there's people, and there's suffering. And that needs to be dealt with. And not what music you listen to and what art you look at. I'm done. Late Spates.